Welcome to our HUD Asset Management Industry meeting. It's so nice to see so many of you here, as we often do. I want to start first by giving you a little notice that if anybody knows what today is the 30th anniversary of the Loma Prieta earthquake. So this building is participating in the shakeout. So at 10:17, which is probably in about 7 minutes, there's going to be a PA announcement saying, that there's the shakeout and that we're supposed to practice. So normally what you want to do is get down on the floor, hold on to something, and cover the back of your head. The most important thing is to have your back exposed and cover your head. So I checked what you're supposed to do in a theater setting, because we're kind of in a theater. So you're not going to be able to drop to the ground, but you're to lean over as much as possible and then cover your head with your arms as best as you can and hold on to your neck with both arms until the shaking stops. So I know it sounds a little silly, but it's really good to practice, because if it happens, you just do it. You don't have to think, what did she tell me to do, okay? And we just had a fairly big earthquake. I mean, I'm used to earthquakes. I thought that was a fairly big earthquake this week, okay? All right. So I'm very happy to be able to introduce to you today Chris Patterson, who is our Regional Administrator for HUD Region 9. Chris Patterson was appointed by Secretary Carson in May. He's in charge of all of HUD's programs and administrative offices in Region 9, which is California, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii, Guam, and the territories. So he has a very large territory. From day one, he has jumped in with both feet, and staff really appreciate his very strong leadership skills. Besides all his many responsibilities, Chris finds time to work on an issue that is very close to his heart, and that is the needs of the foster youth. Chris spent much of his youth in a foster care system, so he knows firsthand how important it is to have a safe and stable home to go to every night. So he's very interested in the work you do, as you work so hard to help us provide housing in our region. So thank you, and I'd like to welcome Chris Patterson.
Thanks, Angela. It's a pleasure to be here today. When I first heard about how many people were going to be coming, I was actually pretty shocked on how many professionals are actually trying to make a difference in the communities throughout the region. Typically, I don't like the mic, so I can speak loud enough about it. But I think the biggest thing that since I've started this job and working with the HUD staff and all the professionals such as yourselves, there's a lot of compassionate, driven, mission-believing folks who I think want what's best for the community in which they live. Obviously, homelessness is the #1 issue in the country. It's not going to go away until we figure out some sort of pragmatic solutions to figure out how we can do it, which is also the topic I've been seeing quite a bit when I travel throughout the region. That's NIMBYism, which is really challenging, and what your guys' role is crucial. You're there to help educate, work, guide, and shape the future for the rest of the families and kids that are out there. Obviously, with what Angela said, foster youth is a big deal to me. I spent most of my life in it. I've seen a lot of outcomes, positive and negative. So we owe it to our kids, grandkids, and so on, to make sure we pave a direction that is more important for them than it is us. So on that note, I'd like to thank Angela and her staff, especially for doing double duty since Tom's retirement, which is a pretty big shoes to fill, especially sooner with the work they have to carry. One of the things I'd like to say is today is an excellent opportunity to network with one another here for your multifamily team. That's the big reason why HUD aims to meet with you face-to-face regularly, take full advantage of it. We take pride in the fact and the quality that you as the workers, the boots on the ground, people who are actually doing the work in the communities, we rely on your first-hand information to understand exactly what we're seeing, what you're seeing, that we can report it back up to headquarters, and I can make sure that the appropriate people know the challenges that we're facing. So it's crucial that we have your voice, that we hear exactly what you're seeing and what you're saying. especially when you're working with, managing credit risks, ensuring quality housing, preserve affordability housing, invest in your people. I think the biggest thing that, as we take this role, HUD's role in the country as well as the region is probably one of the most under-recognized with what you guys all do, as well as the team for HUD. I was amazed on how much services and work that actually goes through the federal government to provide strength for communities. So I definitely thank you for your commitment. And just remember, you're actually being recorded. So this is going to be for further training purposes. No pressure for anybody in here. So thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to start. I'm going to go over the agenda with you. Okay, so I'm going to go over some statistics and some new leadership announcements. Then Janaea Jackson, who's our Asset Management Director, will go over general multifamily updates for you. Jim Raymond, our branch chief, is going to go over communication protocols. So we'll go over what contact info and procedures you need to follow for initiating requests with asset management. Julie Eklund will be going over the checklist you need to use when you're submitting a track renewal request to HUD. John Tedesco, our senior account executive, is going to go over your responsibilities for informing residents when you have a REAC inspection. And Angela Morrison, our branch chief, is going to go over the new reporting requirements for service coordinators. And then Paul Williams, our senior account executive, is going to go over the last memo we issued on management fee certification and clarify some of that for you. And then we'll have the opportunity for industry announcements, so you can make your announcements. And, of course, we'll allow time for questions and answers. And then the HUD staff will stay around if you'd like to talk to someone or meet one of your account executives. Okay, just to remind you how we like to ask questions. Generally, we would like you to submit questions towards the end of the meeting. There are little index cards on your chairs for you to use. Include your name and contact information in case we do not address your question today, but we will try and address most of them if we can. For those of you who are listening to this recording, you will go to submit your questions at the sf.incoming@hud.gov, which is your regular asset management mailbox address. If you have property-specific questions, they're going to be directed to your house account executive. Okay, also on your seat was a piece of paper. Is it? Looks like this. This is for your feedback. Chris mentioned your feedback is important. We feel that your feedback is important. When we do these industry meetings, we want to do them on topics that you want us to do them on. We don't want to guess what you want us to talk about, so please let us know. And please provide your information on this piece of paper we've provided for you, or you can use the electronic survey if you're reviewing this on the recording later on. So leadership updates. So Brian Montgomery, who is our Assistant Secretary for Housing, which is also the FHA Commissioner, is also the acting Deputy Secretary. So he literally is right below Secretary Carson, and he's doing both jobs right now. Lamar Seat is the Multifamily Deputy Assistant Secretary. We call him the DAS, and he's in charge of multifamily housing. And then Toby Holliday is a new appointment to the Director of OAMPO, and OAMPO, I think you all know, is another word for asset management. So the new Director of Asset Management is Toby Holliday. In San Francisco, you just met our Regional Administrator, Chris Patterson, who's been on board since June. And I'm very, very, very happy to announce that we have a new Regional Director. So many of you know Tom Azambrado. He retired in February. I've been acting since then, but we finally have someone who's coming. It's Matt Nash. He'll be here on Monday the 28th. Matt is going to be a great regional director. He has a lot of experience. He worked at HUD for about 7 years. He worked in our office as the director of asset management.
You're joining millions of Californians
in
the largest earthquake drill in the U.S.
Okay. So, bend over, cover your head until she tells you it stopped shaking.
Right now, drop, cover, and hold on.
Okay.
Unless you're driving, drop to the ground now. If you're standing during a large earthquake, the ground might jerk strongly and throw you down. Take cover under something sturdy to protect yourself from objects being hurled across the room. Hold on to it until the shaking stops. If you can't get under something, stay low and protect your head and neck with your arms. Now look around. What objects might fall or be thrown at you in an earthquake that you should secure in place now? Finally, strong earthquakes may trigger tsunamis. If you're near the beach during an earthquake, drop, cover, hold on. Then walk quickly to high ground, shake and stop. This concludes our drill. Visit shakeout.org.
I got too far under. Okay.
Thank you for taking part in the Great California Shakeout.
Okay. You were a really good sport. So thank you for being a little silly with us, but doing something that's really important, and I bet you remember that next time, especially the one where she said, like, if you're under there, look around to see what you think could have fallen on you. When you're home, you should kind of check that. TVs are the worst. Okay, so back to me going on about Matt Nash. So Matt worked here for about 7 years. He was over asset management, so he has full knowledge of asset management. He also went to headquarters and did some policy stuff. Then he went for 8 years to 2 different HUD lenders, so he understands the full side of the development and the mortgage insurance processing. So we're very lucky to have someone that knows both sides of the house. Usually it's one way or the other. And again, he'll start in a week from Monday, and I'm sure we'll have him, introduce himself to you at our next industry meeting. Okay, we've had some changes in our asset management leadership. 2 most important ones. Here we have Janaea. We have 2 new branch chiefs. So we have Julie Eklund. So Julie, stand up. Congratulations. Julie, our half of LA and Las Vegas. Then our newest is Angela Morrison. Angela. Angela Morrison's in the San Francisco office, and I'll show you their teams next. Okay, so you can see here, this is Angela's team, and you can also see how many vacants we still have. We're working on that. This is Angela's team. Here's Gwen's team. You all know Gwen. We still have some vacancies, which I'll talk about. We have Jim Raymond's team in San Francisco. Sylvia is in San Francisco, but she has mostly LA and Hawaii staff. And here's Julie and her team in LA and Vegas. Okay, so we have HUD employment opportunities. So if any of you are looking for an exciting career with good benefits, lots of pay, lots of federal holidays off, lots of good sick leave, lots of fun people to work with. I can tell you, asset management is a very fun group to work with. Lots of parties. We have 3 positions. We actually have about 8 positions, but these are the 3 positions. The program assistant, which is more of an entry-level position. The account executive position, which is the general account executive that has regular properties, and then the resolution specialist is the account executive who's taking care of the troubled projects. So if that interests you, please look at USA.gov for job postings. They're constantly being advertised. Okay, I want to go over a few quickly, few of the DAS priorities. So every year the DAS comes up with the priorities, keeps track of which ones we're making. So I'm going to go over the ones for next year and some of the ones we accomplished last year. So some of the things we're going to work on this year are delegating the reserve for replacement to the lenders. I think this is actually going to happen fairly quickly, which will be great for the HUD staff because it'll relieve them from a lot of requests. This is by far the item that is the most, it's the most requested work item that we have to do. So it'll be helpful if the lenders take that over. We're going to issue standard operating procedures from RECAP to AMPO. So the Office of RECAP is where the 202 NOFA came out of, where mark down to market is processed, and also where RAD is processed. And OWAMPO, like I said, is asset management. We do a lot of things together. When there's a RAD 202 project or a RAD property that's coming in, it's going to have project-based Section 8 now, or it's a marked down to market, we work with them constantly. And there's a little confusion right now for you in the industry and for us at HUD as to who does what. So that's one thing we're really trying to straighten out this year. Improving foreclosure and relocation protocols. This is something when we get ready for foreclosure, we have residents in the property. It's very difficult for us because we don't move very fast, but we have to move fast for the residents. So this is something we're working on. As you'll see in a minute, we don't have very many foreclosures. Actually, most of the foreclosures we've had recently are the Section 811 group homes, because it's difficult to have group homes these days with all the new regulations. It's hard to have disabled people, residents concentrated. So some of our group homes aren't being funded anymore. Reduce rent comparability processing time. I'm sure that would be something you would like to see. Everybody knows how long and how drawn out this is. We tried to improve the process by getting like a contract appraiser to do the rent comp studies. So it's much easier for us to order the rent comp studies now. So that should be helping somewhat. Streamlining delegations. So headquarters is really trying to streamline a lot of our processes, push some of the decisions back to the field so there's not so much going up to the field for approval. And then electronic submissions and record retention. There's a whole move to improve HUD's technology, to improve the way you submit your request. Hopefully soon you'll be able to submit your request through a portal, not just in an email. It will automatically become a record. Then the asset managers won't have to re-scan it or put into microfiche and a laserfiche. So hopefully that will be better. Last year, one of the things we accomplished was establishing the 14-day timeline for real estate assessment inspections. Probably wasn't good news for you guys, but we did shorten up the time for the notification on the reactive inspection. Okay, these two programs, redesign self-sufficiency efforts to promote resident opportunity and implement integrated wellness in support of housing. These two that I think have gotten a lot of attention, will get more attention. The first one, self-sufficiency, is also known as family self-sufficiency. So this is something that's been in public housing, I think, for almost 30 years. And it's a really good program that helps residents get off of welfare, helps them to get better jobs. What it does is it encourages them to get work because as their rent goes up, because they're making more money, that rent, the difference in their rent increases gets to go into an escrow account for them. So right now, if you're living and you're not working, you're paying a certain amount of rent. But as you start working, you start paying more rent, and sometimes that's a disincentive to work harder. So this way, you go out, everybody gets a job, they work harder, and then we're going to keep the money for you, and then in 5 years, you can have that money to do something, maybe like help to buy a house. There's a lot more that goes with it. There's child care that the property has to try and find, and training, and, you know, job counseling, home ownership counseling. You have to devise a plan and help them figure out how they're going to keep themselves going. So it's a lot of responsibility. There was money for it for the PHAs. There is no money for it right now for subsidized housing. It's voluntary, though. You could do it, but it would be difficult to do it without some funds. But they're really trying to redesign it so that it would work with our subsidized housing. The I Wish is a special program that we're currently in the middle of a demonstration project. There was a NOFA that had grant funds, and it was given to 40 different properties. 15 of those properties are in California, and what it provided was part of the program is to provide a full-time coordinator and a half-time registered nurse, and the purpose is to help elderly residents stay in their house. There's a lot of emphasis on teaching the elderly people how to take care of themselves, teaching them things about what things are serious and when they should go to the doctor, and to really take responsibility for their health. But there's always someone, they're getting checked constantly. The coordinator we don't provide the services, but the coordinator finds the services that they need in the community. Very similar to the service coordinator, only it's a little more specific to medical health. Okay, we're working on a mark-to-market notice. Again, this is marked down to notice, marked down to market, which is properties that had insured loans where the rents were above market. They went to the Office of Recap, their rents were reduced down to market, and then we reduced their insured mortgage to a point that they could afford with the current rent. So they have a first that they can afford and a second that has to be paid off sometime. The problem is they signed 20 or 30-year contracts. It said they could only get OCAF, and the problem now is they're old. They need to do work, so we're trying to come up with a way that we can recapitalize those loans and get the projects fixed. We didn't think about that in the beginning, so now we're thinking about it. And last year, we were able to get our new tax credit program for new construction published. We issued the NOFAs for the 202, for the capital advance, and the PRAC, the rental subsidy. We just issued the Section 811 construction and rental subsidy. Those are two very exciting things going on that we're actually going to provide new affordable housing with subsidy. And then, as you probably heard, we have the Opportunity Zone incentives. Not very many incentives really for the asset management group that you would deal with it, but on the development side, if someone comes in and wants to build in an Opportunity Zone, we've reduced the application fee for them. If you're putting a 202 or an 811 in an Opportunity Zone, you would get more points. Okay, standing up a dedicated disaster team. So we all know how many fires and floods and hurricanes we've had. It just seems to multiply every year. So when that happens, your regular account executive becomes disaster coordinator. So it's taking them away from their regular work, but it's what we need to do. Immediately after disaster, we need to call everybody. We need to find out where there was damage. We need to find out, what services we can get them. We need to help relocate residents. We had an elderly property in Paradise, Section 8, that was completely burned down. So that's an important thing, and it's taking away from the regular work. So we're going to have actual disaster teams. They're going to be, I think, 3 5-person groups. I think one will be in San Francisco. So if there's a disaster here, they'll know what to do. They'll take care of the disaster. They'll work with FEMA and, answer the congressman and provide reports to headquarters. strengthening tenant organizing strategies. I don't know a lot about this one, but I do know that there's some work going on to improve the way we encourage tenants to organize. Strengthening problem properties. Oversight, so we're definitely doing this. We want to spend the time on the troubled projects. That's really what we want to do. We don't want to spend the time on the non-troubled projects. So we're trying out different things, different ways of rating, different ways of doing site visits to get to those troubled projects. Completing the 4350 handbook. This is our servicing handbook, and I think it's, anyone know how far along we are? I know we've been working on it for a while, so it's not just a new thought, so hopefully it'll come out soon. And then improve tenant protection voucher, and that kind of goes along with the foreclosures, getting tenant protection vouchers, or when someone opts out, we want to be able to get that quickly, and we're working with public housing to make that much smoother. And last year, we issued the RAD Revision Notice 4, which allowed PRACs, 202 PRACs, to come in and change from PRAC to regular Section 8 so that they could get a loan and recapitalize their properties and get them repaired. And then we implemented a new site visit protocol. I'm not sure how many of you have experienced this already, but HUD has asked account executives to go out and do a lot of site visits. They're not management reviews, but they're site visits where they'll arrange the time with you. They'll come out, drive around the property, walk around the property. They'll go into a few units. They'll go into the office and speak with you a little bit. If there are residents around, they'll speak to the residents. But we won't be going through the entire management. We're not going to be going through the management. And the whole thing is to go out to as many as we can and then spend the time on the ones that we find that need help. So it makes sense, makes much more sense than putting everybody through that 34-page management review. Okay, so this is a snapshot of the entire portfolio, so not just our region. So I'll just go through a couple of them. So we have insured unpaid balance of $98,955,000. We have 11,552 total properties that are insured. We have non-insured properties at 18,728. So we have a lot more properties that are just insured, like just Section 8 or 202s or 811s, than we do insured properties. And if you go over to the right, you can see that our region has 3,482 non-insured and 1,600 insured. And if you look down in insured delinquencies, you'll see that we have $99 million in insured loans, and we have a default rate of 0.10. So it's like 0.1%. So our default rate is really, really low. Okay, this one shows you a little bit about our troubled, potentially troubled, and not troubled properties, just to get a sense of how many we have across the nation. So we have 543 troubled, 3,955 potentially troubled, and the not troubled are 7,054. And if you look at the bottom, you can see that the troubled, the potentially troubled, and the not troubled, we're saying really consistent. It's not like it's going up and down. So our portfolio is staying fairly constant as to the percent of troubled properties. Okay, this is just a little more information about delinquent properties. Shows you from 2015 to 2019 what our delinquent unpaid balance is and the percentage of default. So it's been as high as 0.2% in 2015, but again, it's down to 1.1% now. And that's the end of my presentation, so I'd like to have Danae Jackson come up and provide asset management update.
Thank you, Angela. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Oh, I think we need a little bit more coffee. All right. So speaking of coffee, we have them in the back. I wanted to thank Amanda for bringing that in. Also, there's some treats in the back, too, to help yourself to that. I wanted to thank Gwen, Angela, Robin for those treats, too. Let's move ahead. Okay. So just piggybacking on what Angela was saying about the health of our portfolio, this is the West region, so this includes San Francisco and Denver's portfolio. So what you see here is we're doing a lot of good work. We have 2,443 properties that are assisted properties. You'll see that the majority of them are serving elderly folks. We have 80,150 assisted units for elderly. And then the next step would be for families and then disabled. These are great stats showing that we're doing good. You're doing good work. So thank you. For our unassisted and insured portfolio, I think this is interesting because that number is so much larger. It's at $7.1 billion. So what this is showing you here is that we're primarily, most of what we're servicing right now is that unassisted and insured portfolio, which means that's how we're getting more units into the economy, and how we're helping to manage that supply and demand component and hopefully helping to make more affordability over time. So thank you all for doing that. This is just to let you know how our staff is pushing through all the tasks that you guys send to us through SF.incoming. So as you saw, we're down pretty much a branch worth of people still. We've been hiring, and we've had a lot of internal promotions. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of really awesome stars to other HUD sister agencies or whatever, got promotions. So even though we've hired, we've lost, we're kind of still at the same place we were when I saw you a year ago in terms of staffing. But what you can see is our AEs are really pumping out quite a few tasks per person. So that's 203 per person last fiscal year. So your next team. Okay. So RAD for PRAC. Angela's already spoke to you a little bit about RAD for PRAC. The notice is released, which is great news. So we have 60 days from the release. Sorry, let me go back to my notes. Something ahead in my brain. Okay, sorry. So the notice is out. We are expecting, I'm sorry, guys. So we have approximately 120,000 Section 202 PRAC units in 2,800 properties owned by nonprofit housing developers who could be eligible for this program. So we're very much still looking forward to people taking advantage of this. As Angela mentioned, there are some requirements to voluntarily participating in this program. One of which is there's an expectation that you do capital needs assessment and you secure financing to improve the property. Also, that residents should remain in the property and that residents will continue to pay an affordable rent, which is 30% of their adjusted income. Ongoing stewardship by the nonprofit owner, an extended mandatory affordability period equal to 20 years beyond the sponsor's existing affordability covenant. So this would be managed by our recap office. They will take the lead on this. And if you want more information, there was a webinar that was hosted in September, and this is the link to that. You know, as we always do, we will send you out this PowerPoint at the end of this session, probably later in the week or early next week, so you don't have to write any of this down. It will get to you. So as Angela already mentioned, the Section 202 NOFA is out. It closed in August 28th of 2019. We're expecting 30 awards. So right now, that's under review and scoring. For the Section 811 program, that also, the NOFA is out. The closing date for that is February 10th of 2020. We're only expecting 8 awards. So we're looking at, for FY18 and FY19, $100 million from FY18 and FY19 appropriations. So if you're interested in that, we have the link here where you can grab more information. But it was just released. Angela also mentioned that the HUD Handbook is under renovation, for lack of a better word. So we've already published, or we're pre-publishing, mortgage structures, financial statements, releases and satisfactions, Section 8 pass-through leases, defaults, and assignments. What's on the drafting table for this fall is decoupling, reserve for replacement, Section 8 HAP assignments, property disposition, other escrows, partial release of security, management and occupancy reviews, initial servicing, and prepayments of Section 202 and other loans. So you'll have an opportunity to comment on those chapters as they come up to comment period. So just keep an eye on our website for the opportunity to do that as well. And I think when I talked to you a year ago about VAWA, we're in the same spot that we were then, which is that it expired in September of 2018. It has not been reauthorized, but just like I told you a year ago, we are still to maintain those requirements for VAWA. So notifying residents and applicants of their rights under VAWA, requiring creation of emergency transfer plan or for related record keeping and reporting, enabling residents and applicants to certify their status as a VAWA victim and to request an emergency transfer, considering adverse factors resulting from violence that would affect eligibility for housing or reasons for eviction. Regarding the performance-based contracts, we were able to do an extension into FY20 for our PBCA agreement. So that has been done. There really is no new information on the new HAP supportive services contracts. We're expecting that draft out this fall. There will be a very, very, very short comment period. They're talking about 60 days or less, because they're just trying to expedite getting that out and on the street. For the HAP contract servicing and transfer from TCAs to PBCAs, I know that affects a lot of people. I think people have already gotten letters in the mail in regards to if they have a contract that's being transferred. So contracts that were renewed under MARA will be transferred to the PBCAs, and that is we've already transferred a bunch. I don't remember the exact number, but there will be more forthcoming as well. So we've hopefully pulled your ear on this enough that this isn't the first time that you're hearing about the REACT 14-day calendar inspection reminders. This is real. Unfortunately, we've already had some people score zeros because of their lack of availability to be available for their re-inspections. But yes, the whole mindset behind this is we want to make sure that folks are maintaining their property at an acceptable level year-round, not just when we're coming in for inspections. So this is still happening, and just want to make sure you're still aware of that. Regarding the new inspection model, Inspire, this is a demonstration, and the notice did go out. The public comments are due back October 21st. So inspections will start 60 days after this public comment period. So it's the clock is ticking. So this is a new approach to making certain that thousands of public housing agencies and private owners provide housing that's decent, safe, and sanitary. So HUD will inspect approximately 4,500 properties from a pool of nationwide volunteers who are willing to adopt these new physical inspection standards. So these, like I said, this will start within 60 days of this October 21st date. And if you are interested in participating in volunteering for the demonstration model, you are welcome to do so. There's definitely some benefits to volunteering. One is the scores are advisory, and you only get one inspection. You can participate in focus groups and listening sessions and conference calls, training sessions on policies and procedures. Get a direct line to HUD, and your feedback will help shape the inspection model. And you can take advantage of the training opportunities and how to use inspection software. You do not have to have your whole portfolio involved in the demonstration. You could choose, one property from your portfolio or multiple. It's completely your choice. So if you're interested in volunteering, please do so. And now I'm going to hand it over to Jim Raymond to talk about communications protocols.
Thanks, Janaea. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out to this Industry Day. It's always appreciated to see everybody's faces while we're here. I wanted to go over, like I went over about 6 months ago, the communication protocols, which is the most efficient way to kick off tasks with your account executive for projects that you're responsible for. So as you probably already know, the Western region is composed of 12 states. In the San Francisco office, we have 6. So we have California, Nevada, Idaho, Oregon, Alaska, and Hawaii, as well as U.S. territories, Guam, and Mariana Islands. So that's a lot of states. Janaea went over the amount of tasks that we have, the amount of projects that we have. So last year alone, we went through over 8,000 different tasks, anywhere from 9250 funds authorizations to contract renewals, app transfers. So 8,000 of those tasks are difficult to track unless we have a system. So the system that we have in place is for you to initiate tasks via the email address sf.incoming@hud.gov. We have a team of people that assign the tasks to the appropriate people. The most efficient way of getting those tasks completed. We ask that you do not copy your account executive on the initiation of tasks. Any subsequent communication or follow-up can be directed towards the account executive, but to initiate the task, we want you to use the email address that's here. For contract renewals, you just change incoming to funding, and then that goes directly to, the information goes directly to our funding specialist, so that is expedited that way as well. A couple times during this presentation, I'm going to remind everybody to make sure that their DUNS number and their tax ID numbers are correct. Those are the most common mistakes we have when processing contract renewals. It holds up payment, it holds up renewal. So if you can please confirm that the tax ID is correct and the DUNS number is correct as well as active, you have to renew your DUNS number every year. So verification of that information should be included in all contract renewals as well. Common errors when submitting or items, tips that I'm going to go over to expedite processing. One of the biggest ones is to just be clear on what the submittal is for. So in the subject line of the email address, please include the project name, the project number, either the FHA or the contract number, and then what the request is for, and then the program assistants that are assigned to assign these tasks know who to give these to make sure that it's processed as expeditiously as possible. Please don't email in piecemeal submissions. We have a difficult time trying to figure out if they're duplicate or if they're part 1 or part 2. If you can combine, or please combine the entire submission into one request. That way we know that we got everything and we haven't missed pieces of the types of packages, just examples, HAP assignments, preservation, transaction, track renewals, TPAs. Please do not continue to CC sf.incoming on subsequent communication directed to your account executive, because then we have to figure out if it's a new task or not. So only on the initial request will you email sf.incoming. Any subsequent communication can be directly to your account executive. There's a link at the bottom to find out who your account executive is, or you can just ask us today or anytime. These are some common time frames that we have regarding different submittals and different reviews that we have. So it's anywhere from 10 days to 65 days, depending on what the task is. EH&S certifications are quicker, take less time to do than contract renewals, which are 65 days. So when following up to try to figure out how long something's going to take, you can just start here. So if it's only been 10 days following up on a contract renewal, it's probably too early to start the communication or to start to worry. One change in processing I'm not sure everyone's aware of is we no longer process escrow releases in asset management. Those are over in the production department. So if you have a deal that recently closed that funded an escrow you're using to pay for repairs or IOD escrow or whatever the escrow may be, this is a separate email address that you'll use to send those escrow requests to so that they can get processed as soon as possible. I went over, but I want to reiterate that payment errors in tracks are typically the most payment errors in tracks are caused by incorrect tax ID number or expired or incorrect DUNS number. So please do your best to make sure that those numbers are correct and active. The DUNS numbers can all be found at sam.gov. It will create an error and you won't get paid until those are resolved. More reminders. The biggest one is please submit your contract renewals at least 120 days before the contract is expired so we can make sure that the contract is ready to go and there's no lapse of funding on any of the contracts that we have. EH&S certification should be on owner's letterhead, must be on owner's letterhead. And then please always keep your information up to date in apps so we know who to contact. That being said, we still accept paper 2530s, but we really strongly encourage you to submit your app submission electronically so that can be tracked as well, and we can make sure that those are all correct. For PBCA's submissions to HUD, you can really help us out if you file the attachment that you're sending us with the IREMS ID as well as what the attachment is. It saves a couple steps in making sure that that gets to the right place as well. These are just a couple of the examples of the submittals. You don't need to CC your account executive on this submittal because if it's a decision letter, so to speak, that may not even need to go to the account executive. That could just go to the program assistant and get uploaded to our file saving system. So if you can name the files that you're sending us appropriately, we'll know how to best file those or best act on those documents that you send in. That's all I had. Appreciate it. We'll be around later for questions if you have any questions, but for right now, I'd like to introduce Julie Eichland, one of the other branch chiefs. She's going to speak to you about submit.
Hi, folks. So I'm going to be up here very quickly to give you something, those of you who are involved with track contracts, that I think will be helpful to you. And not make your life more difficult, which we always like to do. So as Jim just mentioned, and as you have probably heard many, many times from us, the requirement for Pratt contract renewal is that it be sent in 120 days in advance. This can be really difficult because when you have a Pratt contract after the initial term, you have to renew it every single year, and it's always a budget-based rent increase. So there's a ton of paperwork, and we really do sympathize with you trying to get everything together. In the past, we've been a little more lenient on that 120 days, but because we're so limited on staff and we don't want to have expired contracts, we're being very strict about it. So if we don't get it in time, we don't get a complete package, then what we're doing is renewing it at current rent. But that doesn't fix it. You know, some people might say, well, I don't actually need a rent increase this year, so I won't worry about it. But we're still requiring you to send all that in. And in fact, there could be action if you don't eventually get it to us. It just means we're going to renew it, and then we're still going to follow up with you to get that information. So what can we do to help you get us what we need from you? What we've done is put together a checklist that will go out in your 180-day reminder notice. So right now, a notice goes out 180 days before renewal. And it says, hey, just a reminder, you just probably finished this. And yet, you got to turn around again and start putting all this paperwork together, and you're going to have 60 days to get it into us. And it actually says in the reminder right now what you need to send us. But everything is in paragraph format, and so it's not, it's great. You can read it. You're like, oh, yeah, I know that. But then when you're actually putting it together and you're like, well, is anything missing, it might not be obvious to you. And we also know, just as we do, a lot of you have issues with staff turnover, new people who maybe, don't have years of experience doing these. So we put together this checklist. Let me say, this is not in any way mandatory. We're not putting another requirement on you. We're just hoping that this will make things easier for you. So this will cover both requests that are at current rents, if you don't actually need a rent increase this year. Although I will also say that we encourage you to look at things. Sometimes we have owners who will go, try to go 5-6 years at a time with no rent increase, and then they start, every year it gets tighter and tighter, and then they're trying to come in for a 12% increase. That's a lot more difficult for us to get approved. So we do encourage you to come in, to really, like all of us, you kind of want, how much do you want your salary to go up? You want to, maybe a little bit every year. There might be years when you're okay without anything more, but we do encourage you to. But whether it's a current rent or actual budget-based rent increase, this checklist will give you everything that you need. And then, in addition, our staff can use it when it comes in. Again, not that you have to send it, but we'll have our own examples so that our staff can review it and make sure that everything is in there. If everything isn't in there, then you're going to get that back to you, and it won't count if you, at that point, you might send it in more than 120 days in advance, but like Jim is saying, if you're sending it piecemeal and we don't get everything, then that could be an issue, and you'll have to get renewed at current rent. So I'm going to quickly just give you an example of what this checklist looks like. I think they also put it with the material that you have. It'll be with the stuff that goes out, and again, when you get your 180-day notice, it will be there. So this is the top of it. I can't fit it all on there. It's actually just 2 sides, 1 page. But there's just the background. This gives you, if you're renewing at current rents, it's a lot simpler. So, this is everything that you need for renewing at current rents. And then if you want an actual budget-based increase, there's all of this and then also this. So, they took this off. But I just wanted to say also that I was in charge of the team that put this together. This is still a work in progress. So, if we get feedback that says, there's something that's confusing about this, or you want more detail, or you feel like we missed something that should be in there, I'll tell you right now, my email is julie.w.eklund, E-K-L-U-N-D. I think it's also on the information. Feel free to send me a message and let me know how you feel about it. Because, as I said, we're trying to make your lives easier, and part of that is by giving you what you need. So now I'm going to bring up John Tedesco, who's going to have some interesting info for you about this July 8th memo.
Thank you, Julie. Bear with me, I'm not moving so quickly today. I need my coffee. Well, I'm going to be talking about HUD memo came out of headquarters. It was dated July 8, 2019, this year. And the subject, working with owners and residents at Department of Housing and Urban Development, multifamily housing properties. It's essentially a 3-page memo, quick and easy read, but it addresses issues, responsibilities, pending REAC inspection. Owners and agents are required to provide at least a 24-hour notice, written notice to the tenant. More notice is preferably acceptable. I know in Oregon, where I primarily work, state requires 48 hours. subject to the inspection itself. Once the inspection is completed, a report is generated and is available to you as an owner or an agent, that information must be made available to the tenant after the appeal process period has ended. The inspection report itself can be available in your front office during normal business hours or a mutually accessible time or place. Now, in the case where we have, or you have rather, an inspection and you score below 60, subject to that, HUD and or the PBCA will issue either a notice of default or a notice of violation, depending on whatever business agreement you have with the department. Those documents must be also be made available to the tenants for review and comment. Along with that, you might have correction plans required by HUD. Those two need to be made available to the tenants for their review and comment. All of our properties, or your properties rather, you're going to have house rules. House rules work only when you have cooperation between yourselves and the tenant. And what HUD here is doing is encouraging you that when you look at the house rules, that you take the time to reach out to the tenants, to garner their input, so as to come to some sort of understanding of what everybody's role and responsibilities are at the property. On occasion, you will have a tenant filing a complaint with you. Now, if that complaint garners or warrants a written response to HUD based on that complaint, you're encouraged to provide to that tenant a copy of that letter to HUD. And because these letters may contain personal identifier information, I strongly suggest you restrict that letter, that information, those people need to know. And finally, getting back to REACT, when there's an inspection and you have exigent health and safety findings, and you need to provide HUD with a owner certification that the repairs have been completed, you're strongly encouraged, in addition to that, to provide photographs of the findings before and after repairs. Along with that, completed work orders and invoices, and anything you might find pertinent in regards to the inspection itself. That pretty much is it. It's a 3-page memo. It's a quick read. I know it involves a lot of REACT, something that's very near and dear to our hearts. And if you have any questions, just come to me after whatever today, or any of your account executives, and we'll try and help. Okay? Now, Angela Morrison's going to be coming up here, and she's going to be making a presentation as well.
my presentation.
I don't want to take your presentation. I got enough work.
Good morning. I recently attended the American Association of Service Coordinator Conference, and there have been some changes and some updates. Now, you may be aware of it, but I just wanted to make sure. HUD now has a multi-family service coordinator website, and this is for our Standards for Success framework and reporting requirements. We are no longer using the semi-annual reports. We also have a service coordinator in multifamily housing program resource guidebook. This is really good, and I encourage the owners, the agents, talk to your service coordinators, have them to download this. HUD is in the process of doing a new service coordinator model because they have determined that times are changing and older adults are needing more services. They say that the service coordinator is more at a proactive level now than it's ever been with engaging in outreach, case management services, and HUD has developed a ever-evolving level of services at HUD that they expect the service coordinators to do. Reminder, no more semi-annual report. It is now the standard of success. The reporting period for this is October 1st to September 30th. Please excuse the error that's in this PowerPoint. It's due October 31st, and now headquarters will be able to monitor and see the standards of success report. For more information, please go to the website. Now, one of the major changes, as you know, when you have a new service coordinator to come into our office, you request 25% braille and at risk. We're no longer doing that. We're now looking at the activities of daily living, ADL. So when you do your survey, you want to survey 2 to 5 residents and determine if they at least have 2 adult daily living activities that they need assistance with. This is what we will be reviewing when you submit your request into HUD. If you have any more, if you want to know any more details, please feel free to go to the website or contact me. Thank you for your time. I now will bring up Paul Williams, who will be talking about management certification fees.
Morning, everyone. My name is Paul Williams, and as Angela said, I'm going to be discussing management certifications, management fees, the proper submission of the management certifications, and still clarification on the 2017 memo in which we use guidance. I can get that out of the way now. We're revising it, and it'll be ready for prime time very soon. There's basically 3 types of management certifications. 9839A, which is for owner-managed properties, 9839B for identity of interest or independent fee agents, and the 9839C for 202 projects that are managed by an administrator. I should have this memorized. I don't think I need that. On page 1, there is the section for terms of the agreement. And terms means just that, terms. It needs to be definitive, a beginning date and an ending date. Oftentimes, our office will receive the 9839s with the beginning date and then to be determined when it's over, or, they'll leave it blank. So we need definitive dates in both the beginning and the ending date. Whether or not you're going to self-renew, it doesn't matter. We need the beginning and ending date. Below that section is the fee percentages, which you will list on page 4 as well. Residential, commercial, and miscellaneous. And those fees should match on the attachment 1 on page 4. Also special fees, which we'll go into more detail pretty soon. Also on page 1, the types of insurance policies. You're certifying basically that you have these 3 insurance policies in effect: fidelity bond or employee dishonesty coverage, and hazard insurance, and both of those require that HUD be named as an additional payee. Lastly is the public liability coverage, and the agent needs to ensure that they are designated as one of the insured on the public liability coverage. The identity of interest certification. The agent by certifying this, certifies that they understand the HUD definition of identity of interest. Oftentimes you may use your own definition, but HUD has its own standard definition. So you're certifying that you understand HUD's definition. And that one of the three following items exists. Either there's no identity of interest that exists, which is probably the easiest for everybody. The individuals and companies listed on the management entity profile, the 9832, those individuals listed have an identity of interest, or the individuals and companies listed on the 9839 itself have an identity of interest. And you're probably figuring out where you're going to put that on the 9839. Below box C, there's a small little area, probably about 2 inches, where they expect you to list that. You may also submit an attached item, piece of paper, just listing all the ones that are listed if you don't have enough space. More certifications for you. You probably didn't know there was this many certifications on that form. Management entity profile certification. You're certifying that the 9832 is accurate and current. You also certify that you will provide an updated certification if there's a significant change in your organization, and that the approval submission requirements have been attached to your submission. And by the way, on the note of submission, the 9839, as most items in our organization, are submitted to SF Incoming website or email box. Page 2 at the very bottom is the signature block. This is troublesome for a lot of us. Sometimes you'll have the owner who signs for the agent or vice versa, and we need two separate signatures, one for the owner and one for the agent. You can't sign for each other unless it's owner managed, but in any event, we would like to see two separate on there, and you'll see it says sign, signature, and name. Oftentimes we'll get the 9839 with a signature that's indecipherable. We don't know whose signature that is, and so unless you can put the name on it, we don't know who it is that sent it. And the title of the individual who sent it. Helps us track them down if we need to talk to them. But a name, a signature, the title of the individual, and the date of the signature. The third page of the 9839 is for HUD, so we're going to skip to page 4, which is called Attachment 1. This is where the bulk of the information will be entered by you. Residential fee calculation, commercial fee calculations, miscellaneous fees. As I mentioned earlier, these fees listed here need to match the fees on page 1. So please just double check before you send it to us, because we don't want to have to send it back and gum up the works. Just make sure everything matches, and it will be all better for it. Miscellaneous fees are percentage fees, as is the residential fee, and they cannot exceed the residential fee percent. They can be lower, but they cannot exceed that number. So make sure that if you're going to do miscellaneous fees, that you don't exceed the residential fees percentage. There's also two areas on there where you're going to list the fees you agree to charge, miscellaneous fees I'm talking about, and you're also going to list the fees that you agree not to charge. So we want the ones that you're charging and the ones that you're not charging. Special fees at the very bottom of the attachment 1 is a section for special fees. Special fees, by the way, are temporary in nature. It's for things that you're not expected to last very long, several months, a few months, maybe an initial lease up or what have you, but they're temporary. So when you list your special fees, just be sure to enter the dollar amount of the special fee. You want to list the purpose of the fee, and you also want to list the time period it will be in effect. Okay? Also, on a side note, this special fee area is also the area you will list your add-on fees, which we'll get to in a moment. They don't have a specific section for add-on fees, but you list it in the special fee section. Okay? Now, pretty much what we're all here for, it's about the money. Let's basically say it. It's about the money. A lot of states charge different amounts for the basic rate. Since we're in California, I'll just use California as an example. The basic rate here is $52 per unit. And then, obviously, you're eligible for several add-ons on top of that. And I'll just go over the laundry list of the add-ons. We have the subsidy mix, where you have a combination of subsidy at the property, HAP, LIHTC, what have you. special population. When you manage properties for elderly or disabled, that qualifies for a special fee, add-on fee. Remote location. You're in an area of California or Oregon or Idaho, where the property could be in the middle of nowhere, literally, and you don't have a local management company that can reach that property easily, so you might have to incur extra costs to service that property. So we allow a remote location add-on fee. Smaller scattered sites, if your property has less than 20 units, or one contract covers a multitude of units not near each other, you qualify for an add-on fee there. As you can see, the add-on fees can start adding up. That's why they call them add-on fees. There's a few more. A utility allowance. For properties with tenant-paid utilities, they're required to provide utility analysis to create their baseline. You qualify. It's only $1, but it's something. You know, you qualify for it, you might as well get it. Better building challenge. If you're in a property that is making an effort to reduce energy and water consumption, HUD has a program where you're eligible for up to $4 in addition. There's like 4 different buckets, and each of them qualifies for $1. So if you're doing everything listed, you qualify for $4. It's not difficult, folks. It's rather easy. And lastly, the HUD homeless preference. If you have a HUD-approved tenant selection plan that includes your homeless preference, you also qualify for an add-on fee for that. So all these fees together, they can add up pretty quickly. So get your money if you qualify. Don't leave it on the table. I get submissions all the time where I'm like, why didn't they ask for this or ask for that? I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I would certainly hope that you would, there's a lot of guidance that's available to you. Back up on special fees for a second. A lot of agents confuse add-on fees, special fees. They call them both. They're not sure of the difference. HUD will not approve submission of your special fee along with add-on fees. So remember, special fees are temporary, add-on fees are a longer duration, so you can't combine them together. HUD will not approve that. We'll probably send it back to you, and it'll take longer to get it approved. And as a side also, bookkeeping is neither a special fee or an add-on fee. It doesn't qualify for either. We get many submissions that are including the bookkeeping fee. That's a project cost. It comes out of the project. So don't confuse it. It'll just gum up the works, okay? And lastly, I'll leave you with this. The maximum fee available in each state, we call it being capped. In California, it's $78. My portfolio is Oregon, it's $62. We're going to cap it at that. So if you send us a $98.39 that exceeds the cap, we're going to send it back to you, okay? And that is my presentation. Again, when you make your submission, sf.incoming@hud.gov. I thank you for your time. I'm going to turn it back over to Janaea Jackson. Thank you.
Don't they have a great staff? I thought those presentations were excellent, so thank you all for that. So you all have those blue post-it or index cards. If you have, no, we have a person back here who needs, Marshall, do you have any extra ones? Oh, white? Okay, I heard there's white and blue. We'll take whatever color. All right, we're looking for more index cards to share. Put your hand up if you need one. Marshall will come to you. No one have one now? Yes. So please take this time to write any questions that you have for us on there. Marshall's going to come by at the end of this industry announcement if we have any industry announcements, and Marshall will collect them. So do we have any industry announcements for today? Okay, well then we're going to give you a minute or two to write your questions, and when you're done, you could send it down to the end of your aisle, and the end of the aisle person, if they can put it up in the air, Marshall will come and pick it up.
Hi, my name is Julia Moore. I'm with the Alma PSW, which is the Affordable Housing Management Association Pacific Southwest. And we're working really hard to try and keep our members up to date. We have a website, which almapsw.org, and we've been working with getting information from HUD and other affordable housing agencies, making sure that we have information about the pertinent things on our website. So please visit that. In May, we'll have our 20-something conference and expo and training. We have monthly training. Some are online, some are in person. We're trying to provide as much as we can to the affordable housing industry as far as information goes. We are working on some lobbying issues. We worked very hard to make sure that affordable housing carved out of the rent cap bills that were done in California and the legislature to make sure that affordable housing tax credits had any of those weren't affected by the caps on the rent. Because every once in a while, you go for years without a rent increase, and all of a sudden you get one, and it's kind of a whopper. But we need to take advantage of it when we can. So check our website out. Like I say, we're Southern California and Arizona and Nevada. So we'll keep as much information as we can on the website, and check us out.
Thank you. Do we have any other industry announcements? Okay, if you can slide your cards to the end of your aisle, the air marshal will come by, pick it up, and give us a minute to review those cards, and we will answer your questions.
Anybody else?
Okay, so I have 3 here. million, which doesn't cover much for housing. What lobbying efforts are being taken to increase funding? We have the information that we provided to you today. Maybe Alma could help better answer that question in terms of what you know might be happening in DC to help lobby for additional funds for somewhere.
Several of us are going back there to NOMA next week, and we're going to do Capitol Walk, and then back there and doing vote for housing. Leading Age California and Leading Age National are always on the advocacy with Washington, D.C. and HUD to advocate for more money, because $100 million is not sufficient. It doesn't even fund. I think it's going to fund, but not even 1,000 units. It's not even going to fund like 20 projects across. I mean, you have the numbers up there. So we're constantly, we go and we do advocacy day with our residents throughout the country, letter writing from our residents directly to their senators and to their congressional to fund the 202 program, to fund the service coordinator program. So we're always fighting for that. So you have a lot of local, national, and state agencies that are continuously advocating. And we're, like I say, we're trying to do those same things. There just isn't enough funding to go around. Funding has been laid on some of the contracts. So part of what we're going to be doing is advocating for that, putting into the so that we're throughout the country, but specifically in California where we have that.
This next question is processing timeframe. RFR in summer 2019, Southern California HUD said that emergency replacement reserve request due to contract expiring would take 5 calendar days. And at this meeting, the slide shows 30 days. Please clarify processing timeframe for emergency loan from the RFR. I don't recall this happening in the summer of 2019. I think Angela, yeah. Yes. But I do remember this was definitely in play during the shutdown, which was in the winter of 2019.
There was Alma downtown LA, and they were asked multiple times just to clarify them. Everybody heard the same thing.
Okay, I wasn't there for that.
No, I know.
Okay, but I can tell you for sure during the shutdown that was absolutely the case. We were actually trying to turn those within the same day to make sure that you all had the funding that you needed to keep your business operating. But in normal situations, it is a 30-day turnaround. However, when you submit your request to SF.incoming, and if you put in the letterhead in the subject line that's an emergency R4R, it will be noted, and we will process it as soon as we can. And you can do it. I know you already do. Just give us a call too, and just make sure it's on the forefront of our mind. So, welcome. Okay, for RAD conversion, is it necessary to make capital improvements prior to RAD conversion, or right after the conversion? Essentially, is RAD contingent upon capital improvements? It is not contingent upon capital improvements. Like, the purpose of RAD is to help provide the ability to get to qualify for funds and to do those conversions. So it is definitely not contingent upon. I'll come back to them.
Morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sylvia Cuellar, and I have a compliance question here. The question is, when correcting information on submitted 50059s, how far can the property go back if the correction is warranted? If the correction is warranted, and it's more than 5 years. So you will go back as far as the paperwork will take you. You have verifications, for the correction, we'll go back that far. Any other questions on this? If you have any other questions, I'll be back there.
I wanted to answer a question regarding criteria for troubled property. We have a risk rating system internally that we use to rate properties 1 to 10, and it's based on several different characteristics, dozens actually of different characteristics. And the question here is from somebody is how to improve the rating. If you happen to be part of a property that we consider troubled, how do you get it to be operating well and make it considered not troubled? So if you have a troubled property, chances are you already know this, and your account executive already reached out. It's based on several different factors. If you get a below 60 REAC, if you're not vouchering, if your contract is expired, if your debt service coverage ratio is too low. So your account executive will hopefully be reaching out to you. You'll know. You can be proactive together to work on your budget-based rent increase, your debt service coverage ratio increase, where you make sure you send in your EH&S certifications. We get you re-inspected on a REAC. You get above a 60 on the next one. So these are all things that we look at when we're rating these projects, and we determine how much time we should be spending on projects, because we ultimately spend more time on the troubled projects, and the idea is for all of us to make them all not troubled. So we appreciate you helping. If you do know you have a troubled project, reach out to your account executive to try to figure out what the specific criteria is that's making that project in fact troubled, and how we can work on making it not troubled.
Hi, I got a few questions, some of which are related to mine and some are kind of vaguely related, so we'll see. So one is tips for submitting a budget-based rent increase within 120 days when the utility allowance baseline is due, and what to do if there are delays or issues with data and obtaining data. Should we reach out to the account executive? First of all, I would say some of that is kind of an industry best practices, so that's one of the things that's great about you folks being here, or in AMA or so on. You can talk to other folks who have dealt with this. One of the things, of course, is just to start earlier. I also know with some of the utility companies, there is an option where tenants can allow you to sign something that says that you can have access to that information just for the purpose of the utility analysis. So if you're not already doing that and you're trying to get bills from people, like that would certainly be something to look into. But again, that's not, I don't put those together. So in terms of who you would reach out to, if there is an issue under certain circumstances, there may be things that we can do. You would talk to your account executive about that, certainly. But if a lot of times what I've seen in these is that, they wait until 120 days and then they're trying to get the information together. So obviously, start as early as you can. You get the notice at 180 days. But, one of the things that I do in my world is I have an Outlook calendar, and I mostly use it for reminders for myself. So, you can put something out that's 6 months out so that, you've got a little thing that pings up that says, we need to start working on our utility allowance today. So this says, who do owner agents contact when HUD has issued the PRAC renewal and rent schedule, but TRAX continues to show contract renewal pending in the LOCS contact, or contact HUD office local? So it's hard for me to know what that situation would be. I know we've had a lot of issues just even in the last few years with funding. It's getting harder and harder to get that money. We used to get, a lot of money kind of easily and early, and now we're seeing little amounts trickle out over time. So, stuff is getting funded at the last minute. And sometimes that can be the case where we have everything signed, but then we don't actually have the funding to finalize it. Recently, this happens every year, but recently with the end of the fiscal year, we've had some stuff that's had to be held. And of course, sometimes there are just errors. What happens is these things get signed, you know, as a branch chief, I would sign it, then it goes to the funding specialist. The funding specialist updates everything in the system, and then she sends it to Fort Worth, our accounting office, and then the Fort Worth accounting office is the one that updates it into locks. So it could be that something has gotten lost there. Certainly you would want to contact your account executive first. If you've been talking to your account executive and you're not getting anywhere, you're not getting updates. Now, if it's not getting fixed, but the account executive is responding to you and giving you updates on what they're doing, then, you know, you might want to give them a little bit more time. But if you're not getting a response, you can always escalate it to the branch chief. And, you know, we're happy to do what we can to help you look into that. But that is certainly, you know, just in general, the funding process, I think for everybody in government, has been frustrating the last couple of years. So, and then this actually was on the other side, but it's not really related to mine, but maybe somebody else can chime in. So it says 4350.3 states that all research after April 1st must include the COLA. However, LA LOMOD is requiring owner agents that have an annual recertification effective April 1st. So, you know, is it after April 1st? This one is on April 1st to include the COLA. What is HUD's interpretation? I don't know if anyone's dealt with that. We may have to get back to people on that. So another one that I had says effective date of PRAC renewal protocol. I assume maybe they're asking about the 120 days. That's actually in the handbook. That's nothing new. It's been that way for many years. It's just that we've been more willing, and not just willing, but able. You know, let me say, it's not that we're trying to be difficult. It's that, you know, we've lost so many staff members that we just don't have the time to do this. And what we were seeing was that we had a lot of expired contracts. So we're trying to find ways to make sure that you are able to continue to get your subsidy every month. And that's one of the reasons why we're being strict about this 120 days. And then the other one here says, does inclusion of account administrator as CC cause requests to be bounced? And I'm not sure what CC is, so, sorry? Oh, on the email?
Right.
Oh, so that's for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have another question, Anthony?
No, that's it.
You don't need to include the account executive because it depends on what the task is. We have different people doing different tasks. So if it's a particular task, it might not even go to the account executive. The best way, the most organizing way is to send in a task to sf.incoming@hud.gov, and then we'll figure out how to best process that. Some of the PAs are doing it. Some account executives are stepping in for others. You know, the account executive doesn't do all the servicing for that project. We have help from different parts of our office.
Got that part. The real question is, if you happen to include the account executive as a CC on the email, does that automatically?
No, it won't automatically get bounced. It just might.
You don't need to.
You don't need to.
Right.
But if you do, it might create two separate tasks,
Okay.
which we're trying to avoid. Yeah.
And I have three more. So this one we're going to have to do a little bit of research on. What's the max per unit for the recent HUD 811 NOFA? Is there a reserved amount for California? So whoever this one is, come see me after so I can get your name. But I am not aware that there's a reserved amount for California, and I will have to research to find out if there's a max per unit for the HUD 811 NOFA. The other question is why is a cash mortgage seller as a lender counted as an asset if the property has been sold? So whoever this one's for as well, I'll need your name so I can get back to you after because it's kind of project specific. And this one, I'm having a hard time. This is on tenant notices. The relocation notice requirement for all repairs projects. Can there be an exception due to the urgency of the repairs needed? So I'll need to know why the exception and what needed for. So that's very project specific, so just come see me afterwards. So are there any other? Oh, thank you.
and I'm not wearing my eyes, so forgive me for a moment. One is asking about the utility analysis baseline, if the dollar add-on fee is only for that baseline year or the subsequent two in which you can use the factor. I think that's what that says. Who wrote this question? Well, it should have been for the baseline year and the two subsequent years as well. Because think about it, if you have a 3-year management term, it's not for the baseline year. Well, we'll put that on the revised notice that's coming out whenever it's ready. Anyway, I have questions about that myself. I don't want to bore you. And this one, I'm sorry I can't read it. It's asking about how the management fees were adjusted in 2017. You gotta love her. Sorry, I wear 2.5s. I think it's asking about 2017, when the management fees were adjusted and how they arrived at those amounts. Is that the correct question? Yes. Okay. I do know that there were multiple surveys done, and that's how they arrived at those numbers. I would refer you to the notice, that 2017 notice. On page 1, it lists all the items and everyone who was surveyed. So I would refer you back to that. I believe that's the correct answer. Anybody else?
Okay, so now the fun part, the meet and greet. Before we break up to chat, I just want to introduce 2 of our newest members to the team because they weren't here our last industry day. So Frank, can you stand up and wave? And Christine, can you wake up, stand up and wave? Thank you. So Frank is one of our newest, or he is our newest resolution specialist. We still have 1 vacancy there if anyone. And Christine is also on Gwen's team, the resolution team, and she is the program assistant. So they are 2 newbies. Please go by and say hi. And thank you so much for coming today. Enjoy the snacks. It's a Halloween themed. Enjoy.